I'm Lori Tebby from the Southern Tier Lyme Support Incorporated, and this is Dave Macy. We go around to outreach events, and we talk about prevention, our support group, and how we help people treat this disease. We are incorporated, so we are a not-for-profit, and we're based out of Binghamton. We talk about a lot of different products. We talk about permethrin and neem. We talk about insect repellents. We have a disclaimer. We just suggest these items, so we don't really give medical advice.
Love your body. Take control of your time. Steward your finances. Tune into your intuition. Balance your mind and calm your emotions. Teaching Ithaca Wellness.
There's different kinds of ticks. They're called arachnids. The black-legged ticks, they're the same as deer ticks. People think the Lone Star tick or the dog tick, they don't carry illnesses, but they do. And the Lone Star tick is actually being found in this area also. The tick has a 2-year life cycle. It starts as eggs, and when they hatch out, it's larvae. And that's usually when they have their first feeding on birds and mice, and that's when they pick up the most illnesses. Usually in the spring to fall is when you are most likely to get bit by a tick or a nymph. The nymph is the next stage, and then the adult stage. So it takes 2 years for them to get to adulthood. Are everywhere. They're on pets, birds, squirrels, chipmunks, and mice. They're under leaves in wooded areas. They're in the brush on the beach, in overgrown areas, in shrubs, flower beds. They're on tall and dark or short grasses. Ticks climb to the tips of the grasses and weeds, and they lay in wait for their next host to brush against them. This is called questing. They're most active between May and November, but studies have proven that ticks can be found questing all year round at temperatures as low as 38 degrees. Tick removers here. There's the CDC doesn't really like this one. It's called the tick twister. They don't really want you to twist it, but sometimes they're the most effective, actually. There's also a tick key.
And that when you actually hook over a tick and you spin it until it comes out.
Yep, this is the tick key. You kind of get it under the mouth part and you lift it up. I don't have the tick lasso technique, but I also have the fine tip tick tweezers. Those are the tweezers you can use. Yeah, that is a tick lifter to get under the mouth part right through here where the slit is, and then it does have a little magnifying glass. And also I have the ticked off scoop. And we sell, we don't have the magnifying glass, but we do sell tick removers for our support group. You want to remove ticks promptly and properly. You don't want to touch the ticks with your bare hands because the infective agents may enter through mucous membranes or breaks in the skin. You don't want to twist or jerk the tick because the mouth parts of the tick may become embedded, increasing the risk of infection. You don't want to squeeze or crush or puncture the body of the tick, especially after they've had a blood meal. The tick saliva and the gut contents may be released, increasing the risk of infection. Don't put alcohol, Vaseline, don't put a match on them because the ticks will regurgitate their stomach contents. It makes them more agitated, and you're gonna get more risk of infection.
No matter what you see on Facebook, don't put anything on them.
Yeah, especially if they're embedded.
A lot of people are, promoting putting peppermint oil or burning them, and that's not what you want to do.
Yep, get them out first.
Follow our protocols.
Yeah.
The safest way.
Yeah, you want to get close to that mouth part and lift up and wait for them to release. Clean the skin area with an antiseptic afterwards. You can save the tick for testing at testing labs. We recommend Ticknology. And call your doctor and stick the tick on a piece of tape for disposal, or take it to your doctor and show them what has been. Symptoms, probably less than 50% of the people have a bullseye rash, and sometimes they don't even look like a bullseye. It could be like a solid red mass on your body, or it could be several rashes. There are 3 stages of Lyme disease: early localized, early disseminated, and late stage. A lot of the 3 common symptoms are Bell's palsy, where your face droops, the bullseye rash, or the swollen knee, which we call the Montauk knee. The bullseye rash, a lot of people don't see them because they're up in their hairline, or on their side of their face, on their backs, behind the knees. They don't see them, and that's why they don't checked right away.
You don't have to have a bullseye rash to have Lyme disease.
Some of the illnesses, co-infections that ticks carry, they don't just carry Borrelia, which is the Lyme disease bacteria. They carry Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Q fever, tularemia. They also carry the Powassan virus, which is becoming serious. It's very deadly. They also carry babesiosis, which is a protozoan. It's like a cousin to malaria. And also Bartonella. Kind of had the similar symptoms, a lot of these illnesses, just the achiness, inflammation, fever. Bartonella, you get red streaks. It looks like you have cat scratch fever. You get cherry angiomas, that's a sign of babesia. The red eyes, it looks like conjunctivitis. We're going to talk about prevention, what you want to put on your skin, heat-free, but this is an insect repellent. You can use neem tree oil. You can use essential oils like rose geranium. I believe this has DEET in it. This has got sun protection. But for your clothing, you don't want to put this on your skin, but we use permethrin. Wear white or light colored clothing to see the ticks easier. Wear a hat and tuck in your hair if possible. Wear a long sleeve shirt fitted at the wrist. Wear shoes. We recommend no bare feet or sandals, but especially when you're out gardening or hiking. Wear long pants tucked into your socks, and remove clothes and put them in the hot dryer on high for 10 minutes when you get home. Stay in the middle of the path when you're walking. Do tick checks immediately when you get back inside. Check behind your ears, the back of your head, behind your knees, in your groin area. They do the anesthetic to numb the area when they bite you, so you don't feel it.
People never even find the tick, and that tick, latches onto you, stays on for a period of time, and then falls off before you ever knew you had it. So being aware of possible symptoms is super important, that you don't have to remember having a tick to have Lyme disease. When
you get back home, remove your clothing, put them in the dryer for 10 minutes. The high heat will kill the ticks. We also recommend doing take a roller brush when you go hiking, so you can just keep rolling your body and your clothing. Take a shower so that you can check yourself over when you get back inside. If you find a tick that's unattached, use the lint roller. But if you do find one that's attached, remove it correctly, especially the mouthpiece, because the saliva has the bacteria in it. Apply an antiseptic or an essential oil, such as tea tree, clove, thyme, oregano, or cinnamon, and go to the doctor immediately and demand antibiotics. Not just the 2-day course of doxycycline. That will just prevent the rash. You need to get at least a month's supply, and if you can get a refill, 2 months supply. Save the tick in a Ziploc bag and a moist cotton ball. You can freeze it if you want to test the tick later. You can send it to ticknology.org and they'll test for 11 pathogens. If you get flu-like symptoms or a bullseye rash, take a picture of the rash and find a Lyme literate medical doctor on either LymeDisease.org, ilads.org, or the Lyme Disease Association.org. Keeping our pets safe, a lot of people recommend Seresto, the collars. There are some pet repellents that they're finding are causing a lot of neurological damage in their pets. We recommend looking that up. Do tick checks and remove ticks promptly. Give your pet a bath when they come in. Contact your vet for tick testing, treatment options, and other info. The yard. You want to keep your grass mowed short, trim tall grass and weeds.
I think another important thing for people to realize with their pets is even if you're not spending a lot of time outside, but you let your dog go outside, and then your dog comes back in, your dog was outside running around the weeds, and then it comes back in, your dog potentially can bring ticks into your house. Even though you're not spending time outside, your dog comes in, jumps on your bed, and brings ticks into your house that can bite you then.
So that's right, Dave. They're always looking for new hosts. If you can keep your wood piles and your composting piles and your bird feeders away from the house, try to keep the deer out of your yard by planting marigolds, to hang bars of soap around like trees to keep deer out. There's tick baits. They're actually called tick baits. You put them out near your wood piles or near wooden areas. And I also recommend people spraying this product on cotton balls, putting toilet paper tubes around the yard and wood piles. And the mice will take that back to their nest. It will kill the ticks in their nests. And the mice are probably where they're getting most of their infections from. If you don't mind poisons and pesticides, you can have a professional come and spray your yard.
We have the Southern Tier Lyme Support Group. I found them online and started going to the meetings that are at the Shenango County Office Building in Binghamton, New York, second Monday of every month. And it's a great resource to talk to other people who may be going through the same thing as you. A lot of people don't really understand if they haven't been there. So talking to other people is like just one of the best things you can do. You can find out what protocols other people are doing, because there's a million different things people are doing to treat Lyme disease. We have a Facebook page that's a Southern Tier Lyme Support Group, and then another page that's Southern Tier Lyme Support Inc. On the group page, it's open discussion, so you can go on there and post questions, recipes, and food, and anything that they're doing to help fight the disease. You have to hit it from all angles. So that's a great place to talk about those things.
And that is the end of our presentation. The socks, we sell those as a fundraiser. We have youth and adults, and they are $10 for a pair for the children and $12 a pair for adults. And they've been treated with permethrin, and they last 70 washings. We also sell tick removers. They just have our little logo as a keychain, and we sell those just as a fundraiser. So we recommend people ordering kits through IGenics, and you can download their order form. And you have to get a doctor to sign the paperwork, and then go to a lab, on like a hospital lab, on a Monday or Tuesday, and they should ship it to California on ice for you. Every year we have a conference at Binghamton University, and we have Bob Jagir from IGenics come and speak. And we also have Dr. Richard Horowitz. He wrote this book, How Can I Get Better? And we usually have him come and speak the first Saturday in May.